Here's my '67 Mustang with my current headlight setup. The previous owner had actually upgraded the headlights to halogen, but did not install a relay wire harness with it. As you can see, the light output is not very bright. So I went ahead and purchased a relay wire harness from National Parts Depot. It's pretty basic, only a few connectors. Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show how I'm upgrading my adding relays because my car actually came with upgraded headlights. The previous owner had already purchased these Hella SSB3 378s, but when I purchased the car a few years ago, I noticed that the headlights weren't as bright, and a few months ago when I decided that I was going to start driving it a little bit more often, I decided to figure out what was the issue with my headlights. I actually went ahead initially and purchased some new bulbs, thinking that it was just the bulbs were old. But when I switched to one out, I noticed that there wasn't a difference in brightness, and that's when I found out that it actually needed relays, and mine didn't, or the previous owner had not added any relays. So I went ahead and bought this harness from National Parts Depot. It looks to be pretty basic, pretty easy install. This will go on the driver's side headlight. This will go on the passenger side headlight. And then also you're gonna have to, or I'm gonna have to put it, get a good ground for that. So I'm gonna scratch some of the paint off, maybe use some sandpaper to make sure I get a good metal contact or a good ground contact. And then this will go to the existing headlight connector. And then here are the relays. Just gonna mount them inside my engine compartment. And then here's the 30 amp fuse, and this ring terminal will go to a 12 volt battery source. So I'll be doing the install. Shouldn't take too long. Probably take longer taking pictures and everything, but these are the bulbs that I actually will be installing, or already have one installed in one of them. I'll just have to replace the other one, and these are the Silver Star Ultra 9003. They're 12.8 volt slash 55 slash 60 watt, so 55 for the low beam and 60 watt for the high beam. So I'll be taking some pictures and showing you the before and after. So I went ahead and removed the headlight. I know I skipped the step of removing the screws, but pretty much it's just 3 screws, and then the outer ring comes off, and then the screws for the retaining ring you just have to loosen right there. The one step, and that's why I'm holding the dielectric grease. That's extremely important, is making sure that you use dielectric grease in the 3 prongs for the headlight bulb. That if you want to make sure that your headlights last long, you want to make sure that you use plenty of dielectric grease. Here I'm showing where I mounted my ground wire and scratched off the paint using some sandpaper. And here's where I mounted the relays inside the engine compartment. The ring terminal I connected to the positive side of the solenoid. Okay, so I completed the installation of my relays, and I just wanted to show real quick because I didn't take any pictures, but I'm not sure if you can see in there, those yellow wires are the new harness, and then it's all it has black wire loom, so you really can't see it through here, and I apologize for the lighting. But then I went ahead and I ran my relays through this opening right here on the radiator support, and I mounted my relays right here with just 2 sheet metal screws, and that's really quick. And then this last wire with the 30 amp fuse I hooked to my 12 volt battery source. So that's pretty simple. And then back there I connected one of the connectors to the existing headlight connector, and actually that connector will send the signal to the relays to close the switch and allow 12 volts to run from the battery source to the headlights. And actually I wanted to talk a little bit about how relays work and I wanted to figure out, what actually made the headlights brighter. Um, I wasn't too sure what the theory was behind it, but from what I researched, um, our vehicles came with inadequate wire size, or the, the gauge of the wire was too small, and the fact that you need to go from the 12-volt battery source to the switch and then back to the headlights, that increases the resistance to the wire length. So that actually drops the voltage. And the relationship between light output and voltage is not linear. It's actually exponential. So as the voltage drops, the light put also drops. And by adding the relays and allowing the existing wire harness to just trigger the relays, and then allow that 12-volt battery source come from here directly to the headlights, that actually reduces the amount of wire, or the length of wire, that you need to actually get 12 volts or 12.8, whatever you may have, to the headlights. And so that actually will allow the full voltage to be delivered to the headlights. What I am curious about is if I wouldn't have updated my headlights and I would have installed the relay harness, would have my existing headlights been even brighter? Probably not as bright as these, because these are 55 watt headlight bulbs. But if anybody's doing this installation, maybe go ahead, install the relays and connect your existing headlights and do a comparison. Anyways, if someone knows different than what I'm talking about, or has any questions or suggestions, please go ahead and put them in the comments below, and hopefully this helps someone. All right, thanks for watching. I actually used a quick voltage drop calculator. I was going to pull out my circuits book from engineering school, but this voltage calculator is a lot quicker. I made a few assumptions using 16 gauge wire and 4 feet of that wire, and it gave me a voltage drop of 1.8 volts, which is significant when we're talking about light output. Here are a few before and after pictures. The top is before, the bottom is after. Left is before, right is after. As you can see, the after pictures, the light is a lot more intense, a lot brighter. This last picture shows how much brighter the light is on the ground. Anyways, thanks again for watching.